What's up, motherfoxers? We are back. Like, probably wondering where the hell am I, huh? As a recording of this, it is New Year's Eve, so Happy New Year to y'all. Hope you had a good one. But we're going to be back on the hooker today. We're going to go outside here. Let me show you what we're going to do. It's wiring. You people putting radios in cars. Wiring harnesses, you jackasses. Jesus, so much easier. Let me show you what's going on. And there you go, guys. There is what they did to this car. They snipped them all and butt connected everything when they should have just bought wiring harnesses. And I don't know, man. This is I have to do some investigating here because I don't see a separate speaker wire harness unless it's stuck up in here somewhere. I gotta move this harness a little bit to get some of this stuff around here. You know, like the climate control plugs here, and this vacuum line doesn't want to come up. So something's got a hold of this. Yeah, so that's what I got to do today, is get these in there, and I'll show you what you're supposed to do with these harnesses that are supposed to be in the car. So the other thing is this. If you see here, the right behind there is the plug to the cluster. It goes up here. So I gotta fish that up in here and get it through there. And if you guys have taken dashes out before, you know that's a pain in the butt to put that back in there, because the vent tube is right there and you gotta fish it through there, and it's got to go through that hole right there, right up here, because that's where the plug is, and there's not much length to it to get it on here. This one's in the right spot, but yeah, we gotta get that other one up there, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with these wiring harnesses, guys. What you need to do, what you should do. All right, even the and I'll probably say this again, but there is the proprietary Ford plug for these speakers. You can buy harnesses for those. All right, man, here we go. Yes, I do a bit of reloading. Anyway, yeah, so as you've seen, they took the old schnipperoonie to the wiring harness of the car. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it back to stock. So if you guys are looking for part numbers for the Metra here, they make pretty good stuff. There is the one for the stock pigtails for the radio of a Foxbody, and probably, I don't know, Lincolns and other Fords of the day, I guess. And here is the wiring harness that you buy to plug into the stock wiring harnesses of the radio. And let me show you these. These are what we're going to get put into the car. These are original wiring harnesses. This is for the speakers, and this is for the power. So these are in the car, and this is what people cut out. Stop doing that. Go buy these. Okay, because these plug right into those. And what you do with these outside the car is you take the wiring harness that comes with your radio, and you basically match up the wires to the radio harness on each of those and hook them up. So then you take that harness back to the car. These are all hooked up to that harness, and you plug them in, and then you take the other end of this here and plug it into your radio, and it all works. So much simpler than cutting these and trying to take the wires in the car that are left over and connecting the whole harness from the radio. Stop doing that. Even those stupid proprietary speaker connectors that Ford has in the 6-speaker system in a Foxbody have a wiring harness you can buy that plugs into that harness and has 2 female spades that you connect onto the aftermarket speaker. So, with that said, let's get this in the car. Now, these guys, these are easy to get. These aren't too bad to get, but you do got to dig a little bit. I mean, now you go on Amazon and you type in, 90 Mustang, 89, whatever Mustang you got, and say the OEM pigtails for the radio. They don't show up right away. Mostly, of course, these are showing up, obviously. But if you keep digging in a little bit, keep scrolling and scrolling, you'll eventually find these. I did find them on Amazon, and it said 4 left in stock. I had to do this with Black Sunshine as well. And I'm going to do a separate short video on Black Sunshine and the way that radio was hooked up. I'd never seen anything like it before in my life. It made no sense. And what I thought was going to happen to the radio, I said out loud, that was in that car when I got it. The very next day it happened. I'll go over that story, but let's go and get these put into the car. Hey folks, so you want to get into wiring, do you? Because Ford doesn't make sense from one year to another. They just don't. So, after doing some digging, some online wiring diagrams and whatnot. I've done this before, but it's been many years. So I knew that these 2 spun up wires here, well, these 4, there's 2 sets here. I knew those were probably the rear speakers, and I was right. I went and looked at the color of the rear speakers. That's what those are. These all zip tied off here are ones that I found out what color they were. Found a couple of different diagrams in 89, and they vary. Because they're so much fun. But these other 2 wires are indeed, fronts. And I'm like, okay, I can't find the grounds to the fronts. So I kept digging, and on the other side of it, the power side of it, you got these 3 wires, okay? Now they're telling me this wire here is your ignition wire, and this wire here is your memory wire or your constant hot. I somehow don't believe that, just because my experience is that this yellow and black wire has always been the constant hot. That, and it's a bigger gauge wire, so that makes sense that it's a constant hot. And this would be the ignition wire that they're telling me. But I could be wrong. And then there's this guy, this red wire. Red and blue. This is the ground, guys, because it makes sense. But that's what this red wire that was fished in here that I had to change out was. That's the ground wire. It's a ground wire. It went up here to the screw with the other ground right here. They're basically hooked together. This is grounding something. I don't know. It's just grounding something. But this is the adventure I'm on. So the front the front negative wires I could not figure out. And then I just looked at the colors. Imagine that. So the left ground wire, or the right, I'm sorry, is a dark green and orange. There's that one. Now, this is a positive wire. This is white and blue, I think it is. Yeah. Well, no. I think that's the ground, because on the other side, the ground wire is by this clip, and the positive is on the other side. So, let's go back down here. There's no orange wire. There is this blue with this little bit of green on here. I could assume is that wire. And the only way I'm going to be able to tell this is by the fact that they cut and left little pieces of wire. Now, the part from Ford that's different and the rest of the world is on, the same page, is that aftermarkets use the same color for the same speakers on everything. So I could tell if these hillbillies did this right. And these are all the right and left, you know, because I can't remember. I have to look at the diagram. But the green is like a positive, I believe, for the front, and the purples are for the back, and the grays are the grounds. I could figure out what speakers are what with all this stuff just by that. I just got to go get the speaker wire. But yeah, everybody's always saying wiring's a pain in the ass. Sure, it's a pain in the ass. But the thing is, everybody's like, I don't want to deal with it. Well, just follow the wire. It all goes somewhere. Even though I do have a conflicting stripe on this wire when it probably shouldn't have one, because this one doesn't. So, and yeah, I'm not following that wire. It's all taped up and everything. So, oh, and the bright part of everything, this harness that's in there, that's tied up here, I gotta shove it that way, because there, right there, see it, is the speaker wire to the right up there. Yeah, it's not gonna make the length. It's not gonna make it, so everything's gotta go that way. And look at this. This is the power wire, you know, for the stock one. Yeah, we're gonna use like 4 of these wires. These ones right here. Oh, and by the way, the illumination wire, you know, that's, you know, obviously, it tells me it's a different color wire that I don't see here at all. But I'm pretty sure it's this orange and black one. Like I said, man, you look up the freaking wiring harnesses for these cars, it's different from 89 to 90, depending on which diagram you look at. And they're all right and wrong. This is funny. I just think it's hilarious. But hey, I got the fuse box in there straight. No progress on this plug that goes up there. This is a big problem. It's huge. It's a huge problem. But I'm gonna pretend like that don't matter right now, and we'll just keep going. And the other thing is, I don't think I'm gonna be able to solder this just because I can't get in here. I should have did this before I put the dash in. And I think we're gonna go with butt connectors and some nice marine shrink wrap like that. Yeah, I think we'll be all right. Think there'll be noise? Think there'll be noise when you rev the engine? Your radio goes ring on the background. Well, it might happen. It might not, because it's the right way to use butt connectors, right? Sure. Here you go. This is what I was talking about, guys. So everything in the aftermarket is universal. It's all the same thing on every aftermarket plug. So this, I believe, is right rear, right front, left rear, left front. So looking at this, remember I told you this does not have a stripe, it's just orange. And what the hillbillies put in down here on this orange and green has a black, or a white with black stripe, which means that is the left front negative. So, all right, we'll go with it. And apparently the striped one is the positive on this, I guess. I'll look a little bit more, but thank you, hillbillies, for giving me a clue on what all these wires are, because you can see the purples and the reds, or I mean purples and the greens, and I'll just match those up. They are right. I mean, I did look at them. They're right. So it's just a weird kind of a deal here where this wire doesn't have a stripe, but yet the one I need down there does. So there we go. Got one wire done, one already done, guys. And there's the other one about to be done. All right, guys, there you go. All done. The speaker one is all done. I just gotta do some zip ties on this, secure it. I'll let that cool off. Those are still cooling off from heating them up. But I'm gonna have to go and punt on the other one. Now see, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to hook this up to your radio wiring harness and then plug it in. It's that simple. Come on, people, do that. But I'm gonna have to punt on this one, guys, because I don't trust what I'm reading online, what these wires are. So I had a 90 Ranger, and the yellow wire with the black stripe was constant power. And then I believe I had a red wire that was ignition. This one doesn't have it. It says that the green and yellow one is constant, and the black and yellow wire is ignition. I don't trust that because it's a heavier gauge wire, and to me, you'd want that heavier gauge wire to be constant power. You want it to hold that voltage. And the other one's just an ignition wire to say, yo, turn on. So I don't know. And then that red and blue is a ground. And yeah, you got me. I'm not even going to deal with it right now. I can't hook a battery up to the car right now. I don't have the wiring in a situation where I can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just say I'll have to do this later till I can get a battery hooked up to it and I can test those wires and know exactly what I'm dealing with, because I don't trust what I'm reading. So there we are, guys. Boom, that's done. Didn't get done what I wanted to get done, obviously, but when you read one thing, and your intuition, whatever that values to, tells you differently, you gotta wait to put power to this thing. But oh well, no big deal. Stay tuned for the episode where I explain Black Sunshine's state of her radio when I bought it. It's kind of funny. I tell you, I've never seen anything like it. And anyway, that's all I got for you. Little wiring thing. Wiring harnesses, you mother effers. Mother foxers. Wiring harnesses. Later.